some people like to say, hey, the best time to buy was yesterday. I think you still have to do some research lah. You need your agent to advise you properly with data.
That is always the case. The biggest and only regret in real estate is always so like everybody else.
The conjoined
everyone's stuck at home
right?
during
2 units
COVID,
join together,
and
merge together, and
since
they
my
sell it as one.
companies are still running. It's never tomorrow. Okay, so if you were making $8,000 a month right now, if you're single, if you are 35 years old, you don't own a real estate, you still live with your mom, and your mom is driving you nuts. Forget that part, but but she is. But you want to take care of yourself. How would Edison invest? How would Edison enter the real estate market, or would you enter the real estate market to begin with?
$8,000 a month at 35 years old. Would I be married? No, I would single.
Let's assume single. So the reason why I chose 35 is because it gives you the HDB option as well. So that's why I picked 35.
35 also gives you the 30-year loan tenure, right?
Sweet spot.
Yeah, just the perfect sweet spot, right? If I could turn back the time, hands of clock, hands of time, I go back to 35 years old. I was saving up, for my first property, and I knew I wanted to save as much as possible to buy a condo. And then that time, my target at the time was that happened during my era, not your era, but my era was J Gateway. J Gateway 2012, 2013. If you look at J Gateway today, I think we roughly will know what the PSF of the resale market is. I think it's about 1,900 PSF to 2,000 PSF. In 2013, you would have bought it at 1,005, 1,004? If I'm not wrong, I cannot remember because I was saving very hard for it. I sold my car. I didn't want to drive a sports car anymore. I downgraded into a boxy Hyundai just because I wanted to save the money. Then I don't know fate happened and whatever, got married, and then all the dreams and the plans all went to
hell.
Smoke of hell and everything, and then eventually settled down with a HDB, which was a wrong financial move, but it was a needs-based decision. Why was it wrong? Okay, think about it now. I bought that HDB flat at $475,000, 470 over 1,000. 2015. 470 over 1,000. Okay, 5 years later, MOP, hand itchy, everywhere itchy. Hey, want to sell? MOP, sell. Lost 50K
you
on the value. I sold for 50K loss gross. 50 over 1,000 loss. And then
where was this?
Yeah, this was 2021.
No. Where was your HDB?
Ang Mo Kio. Oh. Yeah, so you think that Ang Mo Kio best town, everything the best, but it's all about the timing. Timing wrong, you're gonna let go, you lose money. Yeah.
So would it have been better if you had stayed on into the market, and if you were to sell the property today in today's market, you make a ton more money? Not
really. The flats were aging, so these old flats don't shoot up like that. Yeah. So if I didn't get married, if I didn't get settled down, I went into J Gateway. Today I'll be sitting on my first pot of gold.
So the advice would be not to buy HDB or not to get married?
Generally speaking, if you can, go for private in your first home unless you get the BTO, everybody who gets the BTO today say bitang. Hey, also makes sense BTO, anybody who gets it today sell also to 200K, 300K profit. Yeah, that's how Singapore works at this moment. What I can say.
You didn't answer the question.
Yeah. How about your journey in Singapore? Not the Silicon Valley and not the Belize. How was your journey in Singapore real estate?
Journey was a little different. My time was a little different. In the 90s, when you bought something HDB, you make a lot of money. I didn't really concentrate on Singapore's real estate, and I regret it. I stretched myself out. I did everything right, but I didn't understand the power of leveraging or what it meant. I spent whatever money I had after that, whatever extra cash I had, onto other investments, building companies, which most of the time you end up just feeding your employees. And I made millions and I lost millions, so easy come and easy go. But real estate was the one sure thing that whatever I put inside, it kept growing. So that's why I became a real estate agent. I wanted to understand the numbers, and I do right now. I really understand the numbers after thousands of hours of research. Holy shit! I understand the numbers. I know how to crunch the numbers. I know what it means to invest. And I want to be a lot more aggressive in the next 10 years now. So that's my personal journey, not just for TikTok, but for to grow. Whether I sell any real estate doesn't really bother me. All I care is my own portfolio. I want to, because whatever I make from there will be a lot more than whatever commissions I would get out of it. Yeah. I've also got my license to practice real estate in the US, which is really damn cool because the opportunities are insane.
Yeah.
I mean, we're talking about rental yield of like 16%, 20%, depending on where you go. Your cash flow is insane. Your cash flow is as much as 70, 80%. Really, the amount of opportunities is insane.
I want to ask you something before we jump into the US one. The Singapore one that you said you want to be very much more aggressive in the future. Does the Singapore policy or the government policies allow Singaporeans to be aggressive in their real estate strategies? In your opinion, what do you think?
Hell no.
They want to stifle, right? They don't want...
It's not they want to stifle. We have a basic problem. Our basic problem is this. Our basic problem is that we don't have enough land. We don't have enough places for people to live in, and we need housing for the mass. If we don't house them, then we're going to have a massive problem. So the government, they're not doing it wrong, but because of that, because of keeping prices artificially low, you have another problem. You are not able to build significant assets on housing. So whether it's now an asset is very debatable. Whether it can be used, whether you can access this asset base later on in life. If you had invested like 15 years ago, before 2012, where there were, wasn't an ABSD thing, then yeah, you would be sitting on an amazing amount of money right now. But in today's market, if you want to be super aggressive, you are very, very restricted. So for example, let me give you a wonderful example. In the past, people bought, the rich just kept buying a lot of real estate. So when you bought a lot of real estate, it drove price up. And the people who actually needed a place to live in weren't able to buy. So you have the problem of the rich, rich people buying a whole bunch of real estate, and so they become richer and richer and richer, and the common man not being able to buy more because they simply couldn't afford it. They couldn't even get off the getting the first one in. So then they came in and says, no, we cannot allow this anymore. Now we have to have ABSD. So we put in ABSD. We stop you from buying too many. But oh no, at first we put the ABSD not so high. Then we make it very affordable. Okay lah, 7%, not so jialat. But over the years, then you see that number grow, from so and so forth. And right now, your second house is 20%. So now, if you're going to buy a house and you go like, holy shit, if I buy a house right now, and my second house right now, I put in 25%. Assuming I can get 75% loan, if I put in 25%, on the first day, I lose 20%. I lose 20%. I mean, you have to wrap your mind around it. That I put 250,000 on day one, I lose 200,000. That's a big number. That means to say now I only have, technically speaking, 50,000 of punci within a capital play. So it doesn't make sense from an investment point of view. So Singapore a bit hard. But then here's another interesting thing. The government knows about decoupling, meaning to say like, hey, we want to stifle you from buying a whole bunch of properties, but we still allow you to buy two, technically speaking, because they haven't talked about, they know about decoupling. Everybody is doing it, husband buy wife, husband buy one, wife buy one. They know about it, but they allow it the question is, are they going to allow it forever? Or they say, oh no, if you're a family unit, you can only buy one. Okay, if you're a family unit, you can only buy one. You're going to have, your divorce rate is going to go through roof. Yeah, everyone's going to, you know, like in China, you got 假结婚, you know, like, that kind of stuff. So we're going to go into a whole different social problem. But they know this particular loophole, and they're allowing people to do it. I mean, let's be honest. There's no way of getting one up on our government. Not in Singapore. Tang kuku, not going to happen. So you have the government knows this and is allowing it, and it's allowing people to build on that. So yeah. If you don't have 2 houses in your household, faster go and buy a second one. You know, for residential, faster go and buy a second one. Go and decouple, make sure your husband buy one, you know, husband buy one, wife buy one. That's how you build wealth. It's going to be very difficult to build generational wealth, but it's going to at least help you through your latter on your latter years in life. So that much is I think is pretty obvious.
Yeah.
What do you think about that?
Yeah, I think you are right. You know, I never thought of that before about government thinking about, hey, you know, now I want private property. I also want to restrict. Hey, one family nucleus can only buy one. Then it creates social problem, like you said, the divorce, 假离婚, and all this stuff. Hey, it's very real, like.
Yeah,
you think
it's
about
real,
it.
right?
Yeah, before just do that. You know.
Do you think they don't know about people decoupling? Of course they know, right?
The data is all
the data is all there, right?
Yeah, right in front of them.
They know what a decoupling is. If they wanted to stop it, they would have.
Yeah.
But if you stop it, you're going to create a whole bunch of other problems.
Yeah.
And by not allowing families to build wealth in real estate, you are also creating another problem, like, you know, people who retire at 65 and have, you know, we spoke about during lunch, $1 million in the bank account, in you know, in CPF and in cash, and then you have a HDB, and that's all you have.
Yeah.
It's really not enough for a couple to last 1 million cash to last 20 years in life.
Yeah.
That's basically $50,000 a year.
Yeah.
That's really not enough.
Correct.
And you need to find a way to put this money into good use, and one of the best ways is actually through you know, an asset like real estate, because the worst case scenario an asset is going to do is it tracks inflation. That's the worst case scenario.
Yep.
The worst thing it's going to do.
Yep. Correct.
And that's not even looking at the amount of cash flow that it will bring, you know, for you later on.
Yep.
Successful agents who wear designer clothes, luxury watches, fancy sports car, have TikTok videos of unboxing their new Hermes bags. What do you think of them, if you think of them at all?
Interesting topic, right? I think sometimes this type of topics garners a lot of views lah. Agents who show a lifestyle to attract a certain group of people or audience, right? Yeah. Of course, it's their own money lah. They didn't get it from illegal sources. So who are we to judge, you know, and stuff like that?
Well, the question here is why are they 炫耀 you know, it's like showing it off and making TikTok videos out of it. What do you think of people who do that?
I think they're selling this aspiration to the younger generation
to become agents.
Yeah, of course. I think they're showing or they're sharing with youngsters that, hey, this is actually a profitable line of work that you can consider, or hey, join me lah, then you also can be like me. This is some things that what you call that, the law of attraction, or you attract the similar type of people to come to you lah.
But you're trying to attract people based on greed.
A certain lifestyle,
rather than helping people.
It's a status game, isn't it? I don't know. I'm reading this book I told you before, the status game, and I realized that, oh yeah, status is very important to a lot of human beings, you know. There's this point that I remember from the book very, very vividly. Okay, so imagine you and I are colleagues in the same company, okay? Both of us get an increment. Hey, this month your boss tells both of us, hey guys, I'm going to give you an increment of $100. Both of y'all get equal increment, and then both of y'all are happy. But you know what makes people happier is that I get a $50 increment more than you. I will be the status I seem to have a better status. Competition to you. So they like to be compared with other people.
Right.
So if I have $50 more than you even okay, I may get $75 and you get $25. I may be happier than both of us get $100. This is the study done by the author, which I thought was very enlightening or very interesting, that status plays a part in people's happiness and not the absolute dollar that you earn per month.
Well, Maslow basically put this on his hierarchy of needs. He calls it self-actualization. So he puts it, I think, level 4, level 5, pretty
all
high.
All the way to the top, right?
Yeah,
I think
all the way to the top.
Yeah.
So you provide your basically your 柴米油鹽, your basic necessity, your shelter, and so on and so forth. One of the other necessities of human wants is basically your need to be accepted by your peers. But to show off, luxury watches and sports cars and posting them online, you haven't say yes or no. So it's okay.
I think to me the short answer is yes lah. They can do whatever they want with their money. But looking at you and me, we have no designer on our bodies. You know that our quan or our pattern is not like that lah. Especially for yourself, with your established portfolio and stuff like that. Do you need to buy a Ferrari to show off to your clients? I think maybe, may I ask you this question?
No, I have no interest whatsoever.
Yeah.
Seriously, no desire whatsoever.
Yeah.
I know a lot of billionaires and they are super detailed. The strange thing is, I know I got friends who are worth 50, 80, 100, 80 mil, 100 mil, and they don't even drive. And they say, no, I just Uber around. I know a couple of billionaires who are, you look at them, you think they're poor, you probably want to go up to them and give them $1 or $2, seriously, and they're super duper detailed. And the reason why I meet a lot of them is because I see them in Silicon Valley. I met the founder, one of the founders for LinkedIn. He's worth like, I don't know how many B, but he was such a, just t-shirt and jeans kind of guy.
Yeah.
Not showy at all. And when you were talking about stuff, he just kept asking, questions about things. The insatiable desire to want to learn was insane. I mean, these smart people, if these successful people, if anything they want to do is they want to learn. This billionaire once, my friend asked me, he says, hey, are you free to meet this guy? I said, why? He says, oh, because he wants to talk to you about investing in a company. I said, yeah, I'm not free this weekend. And then she was a little upset when I said I wasn't free. And when asked me why, because I said I'm going camping. And he said, can you not go camping this weekend? I said, it's just another billionaire, who cares? He's not going to give me any money. I'll be lucky if he bought me a cup of a cup of coffee at Starbucks. So what, meeting billionaires? I'd much rather go camping. So I met him and he was very super humble. He kept asking me about the industry, the baby products industry, asking me this, that, and I thoroughly enjoyed our conversation because we were sharing information back and forth. And yeah. Okay,
so the follow-up question,
right,
with regards to whatever you said just now. So how about the real estate agents in Silicon Valley? Do the top performers or what, they tend to,
They do. Some of them do. They go and they are a little bit showy. I'm going to answer this and see if Hattons will make me kopi. Hey, Charlie, come now. I want to talk to you. Come. I think that people who show off their bags and their cars and their watches, sibei bo liao. Really bo liao. Why? Because just, dude, you make 1-2 mil a year. You live like the way you show in your tuxedo and I'm super fancy and all that. Come on, seriously. Mark Zuckerberg, he doesn't live like that. He doesn't pose like that. Steve Jobs, for the longest time, drove his very, very old Mercedes to the office. Even his low-ranking engineers drove better cars than him.
Yeah.
Warren Buffett drives his Cadillac of 40-something years old. They were begging him to change. He refused to change. He says, no, this one works fine. I'm going to drive this. And one time, this Jeff Bezos was asked, hey, your company is now worth billions and you are worth billions. And he says, yeah. And the interviewer asked him, so what the hell is up with this Honda Civic you're driving? He was like, it's a good car. And he was driving a 10-year-old Honda Civic. Okay. So, and these people have a lot to show up, but they don't. They basically don't. They have other things that they want to do in life, i.e. like Elon Musk. He wants to change the world. If anything, they want to sit down and they want to argue with you how best to put all these resources into what better cause you can do for society, what better technologies you can build for them, what nicer, how can you 贡献 to other people's lives, to the life around you. That was more of a concern to these people. They didn't give a shit about showing off their, like super expensive, wild naked parties or with models here and there. You don't see Elon Musk doing that.
Yep.
You don't see Jeff Bezos doing it. You will see them at some red carpet event once in a while, but they don't talk about that. They talk about changing the world and talk about making the world a better place. So I think there's a lesson to be learned there.
Yep.
If they were to buy something nice, we don't even know what the hell they do. So what kind of stuff they buy, but we do know that for people like Warren Buffett, every day he eats his Omaha steaks. He has one steak and then he has his Coca-Cola, and that's his meal, and he's very, very happy with it. And he's 90-something years old, and he doesn't fly out to the south of France and then sit down there and say, I got a little, today is a very good day, I'm going to have a little bit of escargot, and maybe a 1989 Chateau Mouton, whatever shit,
I like the accent.
It's they don't do stuff like that. So I think we as a society we still have some ways to go. That if you enjoy some kind of material, wellness, maybe you should post more about, I went out and I drove and I fed the elderlies this weekend.
Yep.
I instead of buying that super expensive Hermes bag, I went in and I donated X amount of rice, so on and so forth, and something along that line, and also don't be CB. I'm going to say that. I'm going to edit this thing out. Don't be CB and then buy all this thing and then go and give it to all these people and post it. You see, I give so many. Come on, this is so not cool. Try and give back something to society. So that's what I don't agree with people who are showy.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, but sometimes these people garner views, right? How do you explain that? What do you think? Is it a psychology thing or what? People
what do views do? What do views do? Views basically feed somebody ego, right?
Yeah.
It doesn't really bring any value to the person. So two kinds of people. One is an exhibitionist. The other is a voyeurist. So a voyeurist is somebody who constantly want to see what the exhibition is. So you got these two people, that is married and happy.
Feed off each other, is it?
Yeah. One person I like to share, the other person I want to live in your shoes. So then go ahead, but it brings no value to society. I mean, if you want to make a goddamn video on how people can invest better, how people can invest for their lives, or how they can, what are the options presented to them, spend that amount of money, spend that amount of resources, go and build something to a school or something, or a course, and say, hey, this course is not free because I paid for it, and all the other things, because I want to teach you how to invest, I want to teach you how to buy real estate. Why you want to show everybody you got another Hermes bag, or my landed property, you see, it's like, it's so low class, really seriously. Sibei bo liao.
Okay, cool.
So recently, there were a lot of advertisements that talked about no commissions, agents for agents' work, and there were a lot of advertisements that say only 1%, stuff like that. How do you feel about that as an agent, as a person, about no commission agents? No commission for agents.
Yep. I think I have a lot to say about that. Now, obviously, different concepts around at play here. The first one I want to bring about is the three words. Fast, cheap, and good. Fast, cheap, and good. If you want a fast job, it will not be cheap. You want a fast and good job, it will not be cheap, right? If you want a cheap and fast job, it will not be good. So you get the gist lah. So if somebody comes to you and says that, hey, I'm going to do something for you and it's for free, right? You got to really, really consider very hard if the quality or the speed is going to match your expectations. So this is the first thing I want to say. Second thing I want to say is that, hey, then these guys who are advertising, no need marketing costs, man. The advertisement money come from where? It has to come from somewhere, right? Is it from a VC or is it from some fund, somebody in the back end that's supporting them, right? And eventually, are they targeting an exit or what? We don't know that lah. So these are the two things that come up from my mind on instinct. How about you?
I think it's the most stupid thing ever because my motivations of being in the real estate industry is not about making a ton of money. It's not about buying a sports car or an Hermes bag. We went through that. But basically because I wanted to learn about the industry. But would I be wrong to say that 95, 98% of Singaporeans, their largest wealth, their largest part of their portfolio is basically in real estate?
For sure.
Okay, so it's a very necessary thing. It's also a very important thing in almost everyone's life in Singapore. Would I be wrong to say that?
100%.
So if we wanted ministers in this country, do you think it would be a good idea to go out on the street and then find the person that anyone on the street and grab, hey, you become minister, you MP for Marine Parade, and then grab another person. Oh no, you go down to Ang Mo Kio, and go and be a minister there, and you put that guy into, become our president to hold the keys. Would we do that?
Of course not.
Of course not. And in fact, Lee Kuan Yew was basically saying that we need to pay top dollar to get the smartest, the best people into into governments, right? So now you have a thing. You have everyone's biggest portfolio is real estate, i.e., you really, really need to know your shit in order to invest. I.e., you cannot just say, no lah, that property very good, why? Because it's south-facing, don't have afternoon sun and all that crap. You want that agent, or you want that agent that says, look, this is a really good property because the numbers make sense. And the numbers make sense, this, that. And if we draw and we go this, we go that, and basically tell you, a whole bunch of stuff that it's a good bet. This is the biggest ticket item you would buy for your life in this lifetime, maybe, or one of the biggest for sure. So you rather a person who comes in, a guy whom you just pull off the streets, who basically say, can the color very good and the facing very good. You want a guy to give you an idea of whether you should invest in this, or you want a guy who says, hey, look, dude, I've gone through 20 years of data and blah 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 blah. I've gone through, I've done the modeling for you, and this is what I think. That guy would have spent years and years and years and years of time in school, and he would spend thousands of hours understanding his craft. So you want to pay him zero for that? Because if you pay zero, all the smart people won't come into the industry. All the smart people will go to other industries. They would become computerists, they would become technologists, because those are the ones that will pay the most money. They would want to be, compete amongst each other to become the best, so they can become ministers, lawyers. Maybe not lawyers. I'm not a fan of them. But they would become want to become the best in the country of that particular field. And so your biggest ticket item in your life. Your portfolio, your real estate portfolio, does this make sense for you to get the best and the brightest to help advise you of how to invest? 100%. No brainer, right?
Yep.
Confirm yes, right?
Yep.
So you want an idiot that you pay zero for, because the guy who's going to give you amazing advice, is going to guide you through this journey, he's not going to work for free.
Yep.
So yeah, good luck to Mogul. I mean, it's like, I hope your business thing, survives, but it doesn't make sense because they are not going to spend money and tens of thousands of dollars or hundreds and hours of deliberation and research so they can give you free service. No, they're in it to make money. Yes, they are funded by a VC right now, but in the long run, it hurts the industry because idiots will just come in rather than the best and the brightest. If you want to attract the best and brightest, we should go where the Americans go. They pay 5%. You pay them 5%, come go and hang. Why? Because my biggest ticket item is I'm going to be my biggest ticket item of my life. This is going to give me financial freedom for the latter half, for the 40 years of my life. Well, Hollywood 5%, no offense, is damn cheap, Seriously, but okay, let's not go into the 5%. I give 2% also damn bloody cheap, I want the best and the brightest, not some idiot that come in and give me some stupid advice. That's why I became a real estate agent, not to sell as an agent, but basically to learn how to invest myself. And since I couldn't find the best and the brightest at that time, now I just met you, so the best and the brightest, in order to attract them, then you have to pay good money. Then you get the best and the brightest. My biggest part of my portfolio, I want the best and the brightest advice. Not some idiot from the street that come out, oh, no problem, brother. Can, sure. This one, yeah. South facing, yeah, come, I take you in my Ferrari. We go view house.
Have we, has real estate left, are we still at the level, of a car salesman? A lot of us are compared to very often, you all are just like car salesmen, all your words cannot be trusted. Have we left that stage yet? What do you think?
Well, the car salesman model is basically the people who basically have their unboxing of Hermes bags and their sports car, and then make videos of like, get their agents or their assistant. Excuse me, what you do for a living, And then knock on the door, pretend not your sports car, so the guy. I mean, it doesn't bring any value to the industry. It doesn't bring any value to the people out there. That's why I think, look, if you want, spend some money, spend some time in going and educating people and giving them something to understand. Spend your goddamn time that you were using in making TikToks, like those kind of really boliao TikToks, in my opinion, to building something of value to people out there to help them invest better. This is going to be the largest purchase of their lives, chances are.
Yep.
So the least you can do is, look, I'm going to spend so much time understanding this particular segment, and to help you make the best decision. And you want the smartest, brightest CCB to help you make that decision, not some idiot that comes in for 0% interest.
Yeah.
If you want, then you know what you should do? We should go and get people who would work, for the government and become our ministers for only $3,500. Yeah, seriously. We get all those people who are willing to work for that kind of pay. Then you'll see what kind of leaders that we will have. We're gonna get you pay peanuts, you get what?
Monkeys.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So does it make sense? Hell doesn't make sense. The people who want to destroy the entire, it's stupid. You should be paying more as opposed to be paying less. You want the best, the brightest, the smartest people to help you make decisions. Then you pay top dollar. Stupid.
Yeah. We don't doubt, or rather I don't doubt that this industry or this real estate agent industry is very competitive. We have about 30,000 licensed real estate agents in this small 64 square kilometer island, right? Yeah. So I think, in my opinion, my second stage, or rather way to put it across, is usually if you have no value to offer, you tend to cheapen yourself so to close deals right or not. So for me, if we know our value and we stick there, Alex Hormozi says this very, very well. I just screenshotted one of his comments. He said that if you can double up your price and you can speed up your product by 2 times, your service half the time at double the price, you will get more customers. Do you agree with that?
Agree.
Agree, huh? Yeah. Hello? So we have the answer already. Don't cheapen yourself.
If you want to get the best and the brightest to help you, make really good, the biggest ticket item, the biggest financial decision you're probably going to make in life, you want the best. You don't want the most stupid people out there. And in order to get the best, you can't pay zero.
Yeah, correct.
You have to give them top dollars.
Okay.
Then it will attract better people in the industry.
Yep. But they can't buy the Bentleys and the Ferraris lah.
They can, if you want, they can. And if they make a lot of money, and rightly so, they will make a lot of money. And they should buy their Bentleys and Ferraris. It's just that when you buy your Bentleys and you buy your Ferraris and then you show them off, it's a bit, I don't know, a bit low lah. It's like, there's no real benefit to society if you're trying to show off, oh, my unboxing of my new Hermes bag. Sibei bo liao lo. Really, it's like really sibei bo liao.
Girls like to see handbags.
Yeah lah. Then you plant this kind of seed, you will sow that. Then
crop lah.
And it's not girls. Okay, it's only Tower Alliance and will come to you. Correct.
I don't know.
My guess.
I haven't done the research.
I've never done this before. That's my guess. So only the Tower Alliance will come to you. Yeah, because you sow what you reap what you sow.
Yeah.
Yeah. And if you sow that kind of seeds, then you will get that kind of people who are just out there just for the money. Yeah. And you won't get the best and the brightest.
Understand. How about your view of this, the 1% selling commission? Do you think this is sustainable? I think you've been a business owner for many, many years. You know the sums and you have been in real estate as well.
Right.
So you see, you know how to calculate, right?
Right.
Are these businesses sustainable or not?
It's not a question of whether it's sustainable. You look at the property prices for HDB, 1%, 500,000-600,000. Okay, let's just say you transact a HDB at 600,000. You pay 1%. That's $6,000. Assuming $6,000 goes directly into one agent.
Yeah.
This agent does 20, 30, 40 viewings for you, and over a period of 6 weeks. Basically, help you go, make sure that you go through all the entire convoluted HDB system in order to get you what you want. And then after you finish that, he gets $6,000, assuming those are the numbers. So $6,000 in today's world, if an agent can make $6,000 doing that, let's just say he closes one deal a month, he does that, and you go like, oh, but 6,000 only. But if I were to become a computer programmer, I would be selling my pay would be. My starting pay already, 9,000, 10,000. If I have stock options, I'll go all the way up to 15, 20. And after a couple of years in the industry, I'll be making 20. You think he'll remain as an agent, or will he, go and do something else?
He will not do it.
Basically. And so you get a brain drain, a really smart guy who can probably do the job and then some and improve the industry and break new grounds in the industry. Says if I do this, I make $6,000. If I do that, I make more. Obviously, I'm going to do that, right?
Great point.
Yeah. So you want your monkeys, then you keep paying 1% for HDB transaction is not a lot. And if you were to sell a $2 million condo, you get $20,000. A $2 million condo is not easy to sell. It takes a lot of time, a lot of effort, and a lot of marketing dollars. So you make $20,000 of it, seriously, yeah. And then you've got like 30 over 1,000 agents and roughly around 30-something thousand transactions a year in private. So technically speaking, if you average it out, one agent basically gets one over deal, a year. How the hell is he going to feed himself? It's not. It doesn't make sense. Yeah, I mean, granted that there are agents that will make, like your Bentleys and your Ferraris, but generally speaking, it doesn't make sense. How about you? What do you think about that 1%?
Yeah, I think it's not sustainable because as a business owner, I think you rightly pointed out about cost and time. I mean, if I need to sell a HDB flat, I need to run viewings, my petrol costs, all of these things is going
Sit in the middle.
Stay in the middle. Okay. So the costs are there, the fixed costs are there. We all know how Property Guru tries to suck our blood every year. Every year increase 10-20%, never mind. Then they still have to sell you prime credits and sell you all of the other things.
Upsell you.
Yeah, exactly.
Squeeze the blood.
Yeah. So if you you will work for a company that charges 1%, and then you take a salary off of them, plus transport allowance. I think to me, long term is not sustainable for these companies to survive. So I personally going to make a bet. I'm going to say that some of these companies, when the market turns cooling, these guys may not be able to sustain themselves, the operations.
I agree with you.
Yeah.
Yeah.